We're talking about the hidden truth to lifelong fulfillment, regardless of your bank account. We're going to be diving in. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. The number one hidden truth to instant happiness and lifelong fulfillment. I'm telling you, I know it seems too good to be true, but it really does work. And I'm going to share with you how you can implement it right away. What's up, y'all? My name is Cary Jack, lifestyle entrepreneur and author and founder of the Happy Hustle podcast and Happy Hustle book and Happy Hustle company. And we are here to talk about lifelong fulfillment rather than despair and angst and unfulfillment, which unfortunately many people live their life in this rat race where they're just constantly grinding, not putting the happy in their hustle, not stopping to find gratitude. And really, it is all this simple mindset shift. And I want to share with you that mindset shift right now. Now, this is based, let me give you a little context, on the book 10X is Easier Than 2X. Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy wrote this book. Great read. Dr. Benjamin Hardy actually is like the author, and it's Dan Sullivan's, 50 plus years of entrepreneurial coaching that is kind of like the body of work that he distills from. And when I heard this one thing, and Dan Sullivan, he's like a legend when it comes to coaching entrepreneurs. When I heard this one thing, it was such a light bulb for me. And I want to share with you right now. And it seems simple, but rather than measuring yourself forward against your ideal horizon, which will ultimately lead to unfulfillment and despair, measure yourself backwards against where you started. Okay, that very simple shift. So when you measure yourself backwards against where you started, you can find gratitude and fulfillment and instantly be happy for what you have, even though you're still hustling for your dream reality. But when you measure yourself forward against a constantly moving, ever-changing ideal horizon, you will live in a state of despair and unfulfillment. And I'm going to break this down even to a different degree, but I want you to just think about this right now. Your dream reality, right? It's constantly evolving. Your goal, even this year, potentially could be evolving. And if you are constantly measuring yourself against that goal's achievement, you will be unhappy and unfulfilled. It's a matter of fact. But if you actually think about where you were 10 years ago and all of the progress that you made and how you got to where you are, and how much more money and more impact and more love and abundance you have probably right now in this moment than where you were 10 years ago, you can find so much gratitude and you will live in a state of fulfillment, which then attracts more abundance and more of what you desire. So it's what he defines it as the gap in the gain, right? There's a gap in the gain. So you are somewhere and then you want to be somewhere else. There's a gap, right? But the gain is what you are doing every day to happy hustle a life that you love. So I'm going to break down this just a little bit further so that you can understand how to actually put this into everyday practice. And specifically, we're just going to talk about income, because regardless of your bank account, this works. And you might think, I want to 10x my income. Many people do. You might think that right now is like an insurmountable goal, or it just feels heavy. It's a bold task, right? However, if you think about right now, when were you making 10x less than what you're making right now? And I can think about for myself, like I was, I mean, I was making pretty good money as a bartender, whatever, 10 years ago, having a lot of fun doing it. But like way back in the day, in my early 20s, I was bartending, and I even had a serving job. Like I was waiting tables. And I mean, I don't know. I actually, because it's with cash, you get a lot of cash. I don't know. I didn't report probably the proper, just full transparency. Hopefully the IRS isn't hearing me. Statute of limitations on that one. But the point is, I was making 10x less than what I'm making. No question. It's just whoa, whoa, whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming. But I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, oh, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that the Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode. It's a service industry job. No offense to anyone in the service industry. I think everyone should be required to be in the service industry at some point in their life, because you learn emotional intelligence. You need learn how to essentially respect and serve others, and you also you become a better patron of other establishments, because you know how crappy it feels when you get disrespected, or you have like someone who isn't a great, patron, right? Someone who comes into the restaurant or bar. It's just, it'll make you a better human. I believe in the service industry wholeheartedly, and as a necessary step to evolution for all humans. Now, let me say this. It is very difficult for me to think at that moment. I can even recall, man, I need to get out of this, waiting tables. I need to get out of serving drinks. Like, but I didn't know how, and I didn't know how I was going to 10x my income. So if I was to right now measure myself against where I started, just, from that state, I can think of so much gratitude that I never have to pick up a tray in my life, unless I want to serve my friends at my house or at a party, right? I don't have to make another cocktail in my life unless I want to make a, smoked old fashioned, which I used to enjoy thoroughly. So the point is, this gap in this gain is how we measure ourselves. In terms of increasing your happiness and fulfillment, it's an instant tool. It's like the best drug on earth. Instead of taking something, you just do a reflection and you measure yourself backwards instead of forwards, and you will instantly become happier, and you will live in that state of fulfillment rather than unfulfillment, constantly seeking. I call it the more disease. The more disease is something that we get infected by. We're like, I want more money, more followers, more clients, more, love, more everything, right? But when is enough enough? And if you're constantly just craving more and you're not measuring yourself backwards, but yet forwards, you will be unhappy and unfulfilled. It's the damn truth. And so that's why I wanted to really bring this to you. Now, this is something that, again, I recommend if you want to go deeper. It's a small portion of the book, but it sparked this whole, download for me. And I'm going to actually do a whole separate episode on it, but I'm going to tease it here because this is a really cool concept. So in the Greek times, there's a term called Kairos and Kronos, and they actually talk about this in the book as well. So a Kairos, a Kairos is something that it's two different methodologies, right? You want to adapt the quality, not quantity performer mentality. An artist, let's say Post Malone, who my uncle's friends with, he doesn't spend, hundreds of hours on stage. He spends only a couple hours on stage, but he is very effective because he focuses on his highest value task, his uniqueness, right? He's in a state of Kairos, right? Where he's hyper-focused in performing. But when you think about maybe someone in a 9-to-5 corporate job, they are in a state of Kronos. They're focusing on busyness. Oh, I got 1 hour block meetings and I just need to keep on doing my thing. And one day I'll become free. And unfortunately, they go their whole lives and they retire, and then they usually die shortly after. And they didn't live a fulfilling life because they're focused on Kronos. So the point is, adopt an advancement mentality where you're focused on advancing yourself every single day, because progress equals happiness, right? Not a Kronos busy mentality, right? So when you're in Kronos, you're busy, you're constantly doing stuff. When you're in Kairos, you're advancing yourself. And, what Dan Sullivan talks about is most high performers, they block 3 to 4 hours for advancement. Like, it's not a 1 hour block. It's like a whole day thing. If you're going to get creative, you're going to flow, you're going to write a book, you're going to do something that requires, intellect and creativity. Ultimately, you need time, and you focus on advancement, and your uniqueness then really is brought to light because you give it space to. But when you're in a state of Kronos and you're constantly busy, unfortunately, you're just jumping from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and you're not actually in a state that really breeds advancement. Okay. And so this parlays with measuring yourself backwards, because if you really want to advance, if you want to 10x your income or your impact, right, then you need to focus on Kairos, not Kronos. Advancement, not busyness, because progress equals happiness. And remember this: perfection is a curse. Good and done is better than perfect and never finished. And that's the truth. And I hope you got some value. If you did, please share this with one person. And if you want to go deeper, you can check out my book. We have the new version 2.0 coming out very soon, but you can pre-order it and get over $350 in pretty sweet bonuses. Not gonna lie, we really poured ourselves into these bonuses. And you can go to thehappyhustle.com/book to pick it up today. Now, thank you. Just go out there, focus on Kairos, not Kronos, advancement, not busyness, and measure yourself backwards against where you started, not forwards against your ideal time horizon. And you, my friend, will be living a life full of fulfillment, and instant happiness will arise. All right, y'all. Put the happy in your hustle. Keep on keeping on. I love y'all. Peace. I'm out.